Let me see here. With the ratio for fast oxidizers being approximately 50 to 55% protein, 30 to 35% carbohydrates, and 20 to 25% fat. That's all screwed up, in my opinion. I don't recommend any protein whatsoever, to be honest with you. I only recommend amino acids, and those are found naturally in any form, shape that you're eating. And I recommend just that level. If you don't think that's enough, then I'm sure a lot of chimpanzees and primates would probably disagree with you. These guys can rip humans apart, and that's all they eat. And we're a more refined species, not meaning we need more meat. Those are the less refined species. When you start looking at the different vertebrates that eat the different foods, check the refinements. And you don't find them in carnivores. That's where you find laziness, you find fatigue, you find low endurance. You don't find all the other stuff. You don't find the vitality, the power, the strength. You know, you got claws and you got all those things, but so it is basically, and to do a diet of 50% protein, that's as stupid and as dangerous as you can get. That's sick. 50% protein and stuff like that. That's way. Matter of fact, that's more than most animals even do, even in the omnivore category. That's not even a good diet for an omnivore. You give an omnivore too much protein, they're going to get rectal bleeding out the butt. They're going to have serious GI tract problems. You know, this protein thing is nothing to play around with. We pass it around like it's nothing. Oh no. I'm sure there's plenty of pro athletes would like to tell you different right now because they're sitting there with RA and extreme joints out of shape and everything else. This seems to be in direct contradiction with your approach, as in your book you specify that nuts absolutely slow the detoxification. Too much protein. Ask yourself why God put a hard shell around a nut. Yeah, modern times we can crack and you can have handfuls. I used to eat handfuls of nuts, handfuls of them. By the way, take a look at mother's milk. Let me just go over this for you. This is going to go up online. I'll show this to you if you want to take a picture of it. There's mother's milk, baboon milk, the only monkey milk we can find. There's cow's milk, goat's milk. So look at human's mother's milk. The mineral content is about 0.15%. The carbohydrate percentage, and this is considered an 8-ounce serving, is 7.4% of that is carbohydrates, 3.2% is lipids, and less than 1% protein, 0.89% protein. Wait a minute. I thought Perlman and everybody thought you had to have protein. Then how come mother's milk? This is a growing infant. Where's the protein? Well, let me show you this. Cow's milk. How fast does a baby calf grow in a year? All right. So here we go. It is even far less in mineral content than mother's milk, which has very little mineral content. Carbohydrates in cow's milk is only 4%, where mother's milk is 7.4%. Its fat content is 12% as opposed to 3% in mother's milk, and its protein content is 16% as opposed to less than 1% in mother's milk. Get this, primate milk has a little more minerals than our milk. Has 0.3% minerals, where our milk has 0.1%. All right, but get this, carbohydrate is 7.8%, where ours is 7.4%. The lipid content is 4.5%, where ours is 3.2%. And the protein content is a little more than our milk, which is 1.5%, versus 16% on cow. See the huge difference? That's huge. And when you consider protein is acid and the main problem of man, it starts to make itself known. Now let's look at coconut milk. Let me show you something here. The mineral content is about the same as human milk. However, the carbohydrate content is only 4%, that which is more like cow's milk. However, the fat content is 88%, where ours is only 3%. And then the protein content of coconut milk is 11% versus our less than 1%. So even coconut milk is too concentrated for humans. Raw goat's milk. All right, it has almost 1% minerals, so it's a little more minerals, a lot more than what mother's milk has. It has only 4% carbohydrate, which is equivalent to cow's milk and coconut milk. However, when it comes to the lipids, raw goat's milk is only down around 4%, which is closer to primate milk and closer to our milk. So lipid-wise, goat milk is far better. Now, when we get to the protein content, it is much lower. It's only 3%, 3.5% versus 16% in cow's milk. So if one had to do raw milk for babies, then the goat's milk, which is we've always known, but I recommend getting away from animal milks. Almond milk is only 1% lipids and less than 1% protein, believe that or not. Soy milk is low carbohydrates, 1.7%, low fat, 1.9%, and only 2% protein. Now we have vegetables and fruits. We have all kinds of things for you on this, and we also have blood and lymph on here to show you. So just to help you to see a little bit when you hear all these people touting these things about high proteins and things like that, it doesn't fit in any glove we wear. It only fits in concepts and ideas that are floating around our society, which is untrue, which is causing people a lot of pain and a lot of trouble and a lot of sacrifice of health issues.